finest sprinter of his generation, if not of all time.
So much power, it's just unbelievable.
Some people don't like the guy, but I know lots of non-cyclists who switch on to watch people like Cipollini ride their bikes. They love it.
You need to see this. It's 2002 and Mario Cipollini is about to execute the Italian team lead-out to win the Cycling World Championships.
This man is absolutely brilliant!
Eric Zabel and Robbie McEwen had no chances. It's a culmination of dominating season of Mario Cipollini in the professional peloton, almost 200 wins in his career. And yet, allegations of taking the performance-enhancing drugs in that period are threatening Mario Cipollini's status as the best ever sprinter. But let's go back a few years earlier when Mario's career is in the crossroads. (1997) Tour de France, first stage after a short time trial prologue, and Mario is winning the sprint in the undisputed fashion. Speaking of fashion, he does that in the Stars and Stripes bib shorts, promoting the Cannondale Bicycles brand. He gets fined for doing so, but next day, stage 2, he's rolling out in a full-on yellow suit as the leader of the tour. Bike, shorts, handlebar tape, gloves, glasses, it was all prepared beforehand and got Mario another set of fines from the organizers. Mario's team Saeco and their bike sponsors were happy of the antics that their sprinter manifested. Late 90s, cycling being a male spectator sport and a bit of controversy combined with a macho type look was a selling point. Mario got what he wanted. Whole team was leading him out and that gave him upper hand over the other sprinters. Let's be honest, not many people remember Eric Zabel, Tom Stills or Alessandro Petacchi, and they were best sprinters of that generation. And antics and sex were selling well in cycling long after the Cipollini's departure. Back to the tour. Fines didn't stop Cipollini from slaloming around the competition and winning the second stage as well. But getting 2 stage wins was a standard for Mario at that time. What he was aiming at was the record of consecutive wins, being 3 wins at that time. The stakes before third stage were high for the Italian sprinter. 2 wins in a row, he wasn't placed well enough for the sprint and Eric Zabel took the win. The chances are gone. Mario had chances to tie with the record a year later. First few stages were flat as a pancake, but again, there were struggles. First stage, a teammate from Saeco crashed into him.
We're into the park and it's the crash. It's just happened as they've come into the park. And down there, Paul, is Mario Cipollini. Looks like the fall was caused by a teammate.
In the second stage, he wasn't placed good enough for the finish to cross the line first. Next few stages got snatched by the breakaway riders and Mario had the next chance during 5th stage, where his team helped him with the good lead-out. First Le Tour victory that year for the Cipo.
Cipollini clear of them all now and gets the win. It had to come sooner or later, and when it comes he makes it look so easy.
6th stage was very similar. Team Saeco delivered the Lion King few hundred meters towards the finish line and he finished with a bang. But also this year his streak of 2 consecutive wins finished with the next stage being a time trial. For many, 2 wins in a tour would be a huge success, but not getting a record of consecutive wins was a failure in the eyes of Super Mario. And in the 1999, Lion King is back to the tour. This time his team Saeco is prepared to dominate. But first few stages don't look good for Team Saeco. Cipollini is often separated from his train and looking for clean finish. He can't find any space. And that happens again and again. But stage 4 is when the heavy guns are being utilized. Not only Saeco has the strongest lead-out train in the 1990 Tour, but it also has an ace in the sleeve. Gian Matteo Fanini, the name not recognizable anymore, but one of the stronger sprinters of his generation, who had a lot of top 10 places in Spring Classic races. He is there to do his all-out sprint and deliver Mario to the 100-meter mark. And from that line, nobody can go around the Lion King. Amazing draft behind the Fanini was the reason for the second win that year for the guys riding on the Cannondale bikes. Nobody was even close to Cipollini when the finish line came.
2 out of 2 for Cipollini. He's now looking at the possible equaling of Bartoli's record of 51 years ago.
The chance to tie with the record of 3 consecutive wins is on the line now on the next stage. And this one posed a lot of controversy. Fanini finished his lead out a bit too soon, and Cipo needs to do an awful lot of work to be in the contention for a win. He did all he could, but got nicked by a half of wheel by Tom Stills. But this is where controversy starts, as Stills got disqualified. He not only bumped into Jan Zvorada to take the Cipollini's wheel, but also bumped into Mario just before the finish line, slowing him down. And this way, our Italian sprinter tied the record of 3 consecutive wins. A lot of help from his team, turbo-fast sprinter leading him out, and a bit of luck. But that's not all. The next stage was going to have a sprint finish as well. And that finish is so fishy. Okay, lead out from the team member of the greatest adversary that year, Eric Zabel. Totally normal.
Weissman once more doesn't realise it. He's inexperienced perhaps in his first tour. Leading out the wrong man, leading out Fanini.
And then Zabel unclipping? Yeah, happens every time. And cycling during these times was known of having deals between cyclists. Whatever it looks like, Mario Cipollini set the record that year of 4 consecutive stage wins in the Tour de France. And that was the last year that the Italian sprinter competed at the Tour. Organizers had enough of his persona, between getting fined for unregulatory apparel and never finishing a single Tour de France. That was enough to ban him from the race. Forever.
In 5 tours so far though, Mario has never got further than stage 11.
He was someone who was really celebrated and glorified in Italy for the way he objectified women, really. Went through several marriages, always boasted about affairs.
So, what's happening with our macho sprinter now? He's definitely still cycling, and international bicycle brand is now recognized by his name. But also, the past is catching to him. In 2022, Mario Cipollini was sentenced to 3 years of jail time for domestic abuse.
Not making excuses for anybody's behavior, but I am saying that the best of the best are wild. They're risk takers. Yeah. I think you have to be like Mike Tyson. I think you have to be that goddamn good. There's like a level of good.
Since then, the sentence was appealed, and the best sprinter, maybe even best one so far, is still enjoying freedom and occasionally posting on social media. But his influence is visible even in today's peloton. When Mario Cipollini was winning major races, a kid from the Isle of Man was starting his career inside the velodrome. The new generation sprinter, but who used few of the Cipollini's tactics in his own racing. Click here if you want to watch the Mark Cavendish untold story, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more stories like that.